Okay, I think we've waited enough. Um, this Zoom meeting is being recorded. I know how it works that you guys are like all muted and not showing up, but I know you're there. I've been there too. Um, I'll try to go over the questions that you guys are going to be posting. I'll try to also teach you guys some capabilities that Revit has to edit some simple stuff, and I think we'll get started from there and setting the true north of the file. Try to see if this answers some questions, but first I want to clarify the assignment number one because I know that many people had questions about it and example that we left. So I think let me share and we'll get started from there. So here, if you do have any questions, you can also unmute yourself and let me know. It'll be easier for me because I don't have the chat open and well, it's just easier if you speak and interact with the meeting. Again, I'm not a professor, I'm a student as you guys are, and you can treat it as a casual conversation with me. Okay, let's go here. Let's first look at the assignment together.
Hi Juan, how are you? I think one of the things that make it difficult is that the assignment guidelines and PDF examples are based of I think another prompt
Mm-hmm.
like a house a family house, and our project is based off the solar house at FIU.
Correct.
And so I think that's kind of the first of the confusions. And then my team and I are stuck in setting the true north. We have already detached from the central file,
Mm-hmm.
but it's hard because the solar house has a bunch of plans and it doesn't have the site plan. Although we've looked on it in the project browser, so I don't know if you can start perhaps with that question after you have explained the assignment further.
Yeah, I'll start with setting up the file. I'll answer some other questions that you guys may have about the assignment directly. And since it's a workshop until 10:30, I'll try to cover as much as I can. If I do not cover any of the questions that you guys have, just reach out to me. And if you have a specific question, we'll set up a meeting and I'll guide you guys through it. Is that fine?
Yes,
Okay.
that sounds good.
Okay. Okay, so let's go here. Assignments. And we have the second assignment, the SolarDecathlon. Okay, so the major confusion that you guys have, as far as I understand, is that when we gave you guys the directions in the assignment, we also posted these two links that have two separate examples about the assignment. So we have an example from a midterm from ARC 5621 from 2023 when they were doing as a high rise. And then we have the 5612, which is a class that you guys already took, environmental one, I believe, which are two different examples that are only there to not give you guys directions about the assignment because the directions themselves are here at the top, but they're meant to be there to help you go through the process of this assignment because you do need to go to Green Building Studio. You do need to do the steps and you do need to post them, but you need to adapt those steps to the current assignment. So basically, anything that you guys will do with the assignment will be here on this highlighted area. I don't know if you can see it, but this is the area where we explain the assignment to you, where we say to take the screenshots for each BIM workflow, meaning that you guys are going to, again, take the existing, do all the analysis, gather the data from Green Building Studio, gather the data from Forma if you are trying Forma, or gathering the data from solar analysis and lighting analysis, then modifying the building. Show what you're modifying, which we're going to go over that. And then after you show what you're modifying, run the analysis again and show how it affected the previous analysis. And you run this multiple times until you get to desired numbers that meet the lead parameters. So please do not get confused, because this PDF that you open as the guiding method that Professor Thomas used, it's not the directions for your assignment. This is just a format to place your information and do the explanations, just as you should have done in environmental one. Um, because this is even using Dynamo, and you guys are not going to use Dynamo yet. So these are not the directions for the assignment. The directions for the assignment are posted as the assignment one. This is just something for you guys to format the information that you have and to explain the iterations that you're going to do alongside with the analysis that you're going to do for the existing and for the iterations.
Okay, so to understand, because that PDF has, if you go down
Yeah,
a little bit more, it shows that page, the master format, if I'm not mistaken. Go up a little bit. Are we supposed to use master format? Master something? A little there. That master format. Are we supposed to use that in our first assignment? Because if you guys are saying that we need to just refresh what we learned in Megan's class, we only use the solar analysis and the energy analysis within
correct.
Revit.
Correct.
So
And then you guys are going to use this, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, there we go.
okay,
You guys are
let's
going
see.
to use this website, sign in into your Autodesk account, and
Mm-hmm.
you guys should have used this website already in the previous class in environmental one. If you haven't, there's a whole tutorial on how to use it. I believe it's down here. Yeah, it's down here, and it basically shows you the data according to the geographic location of your project. It shows you data related to the environment. So wind
Okay.
data, it's going to show you a little bit of the solar analysis, and all of these values are related to the lecture that the Professor Thomas gave you guys. So you guys should be able to some degree understand this. And if you have any questions or understanding the numbers, please post them so we can get to them as fast as possible. Does that make sense?
Yes. So another question is that the solar analysis is an FIU, so our location should be nearby the FIU location because
Yeah.
that assignment has a Miami Beach a number, and you guys are not giving us a specific number. Do you think that's gonna change any of our results if we just choose any of the codes that FIU might give?
Yes, it will change the results. Several reasons why. The first one, and I think most important, is the humidity levels are going to be really different if you choose the Miami Beach location rather to just using the coordinates from FIU. So this is why during the first workshop, which I believe went really fast, and I apologize for that, but this is something that you guys really need to use when you're doing this, and it's Google Maps. So you just
Oh no,
go
yeah, I
to
understand. I understand if I put the Miami Beach location, it's gonna be more humid than the one in FIU. But what I'm saying is that let's say that I choose FIU closer to 16th Street rather than to 8th Street. Do you think that's gonna make a huge difference, or I have to pinpoint closer to where the solar house is? That's closer to PCA.
Well, if you were to ask this question to Thomas, Thomas will tell you to directly use the location of the project, which is the one that you should be using. It's not going to be a huge difference. Usually the environmental differences or discrepancies that you have um, happen usually when it's miles away and it's in whatever location. As long as it's at FIU, you should be fine. But do try for it to be the exact location of the project, because when we go over it, that's one of the points that we're going to review, like the setting up the location and how you did it.
Yeah, I understand that part is important. That's why I'm trying to figure out this. Alrighty, perfect. Thank you. You can keep going, and then if I have more questions, I'll just
I have a
speak up.
Okay.
question.
All right.
So I tried to do the location and site setup, but it said the central model was inaccessible.
Central model and accessible. Did you
Yeah.
deattach the model when you were opening the model?
Also, how do I go about detaching?
Okay. So let's go over the process of opening the model,
Okay.
and then no, that's not the one. So same one, SolarDecathlon, central file. First up, when you're opening a model that has several files attached and you want to work only in that model, I suggest open Revit first rather than just double clicking the model, because it's going to give you some other options that you are going to need to deattach the file.
Okay.
So just wait a second, let my computer boot up Revit and we'll go over it. You guys can see it, right? Revit and everything.
Yes, we can see it.
Yeah, you guys are going to have to learn how to understand these PDFs, because I know it's a hassle, but it is what it is. That's how they are arranged, and we have to also place some efforts on understanding them. You guys can also like download the PDF and take it to what helped me is that I took it to ChatGPT and I kind of like asked ChatGPT to help me understand it when I did these assignments. So when you're in Revit, you just control open or open a file and you go and look for your model. So this case here, assignment one, Revit, SolarDecathlon, central file. So down here where you have the ribbon to open, cancel, tools, audit, there is another window that opens up for projects like this for BIM MEP projects called work sharing. So basically, the reason why many of you have not been able to open the file or even work in it is because you haven't detached from the central. Basically, the central functions as a server. Think about it that way, and the server is Thomas's computer. So if Thomas has not given you access to work on it, which none of you should have, because this is a project of his own that he did with a team back in 2011, um, you guys are not going to be able to even work on it, because any changes that you do, if this file is not detached, it's going to show in the existing file. So you guys have to make sure this box here is checked to detach from the central. Once you do that, it's going to prompt you with this. So you basically want to detach and preserve worksheets. Why preserve the worksheets and not go with the other one? The thing is, this is going to make it easier for you, pardon the work sets, because that file we picked it because it already has so many things that you guys are going to learn from, and one of them is the work sets. So it already has templates, it already has sheets from Revit, it already has line weights, it already has topography. It has a bunch of stuff that if you guys explore while editing the file, you're going to be learning stuff. I believe the best way, I guess, for me to learn any software is trial and error. Accept that you guys can accept the fact that you guys are going to make some mistakes. You guys are going to commit some errors while learning how to use the software. it's not always going to be super easy and just kind of like open the software and I already know the software. Not all the softwares are going to be as friendly as any Adobe softwares where you just open them and you hover over the tools and it's going to tell you what to do. You basically just have to open them and try and use them. So just detach from the main file and keep the worksets and then wait for it. It's going to prompt you with this on the bottom left. So don't worry. It's just updating and upgrading the file to 2025 version where you can use it with newer tools. And that should fix that problem that you're having.
Okay.
Whoever asked that question.
And my bad, one more thing. I just wanted, can I share my screen for a second?
Sure.
Because when I downloaded the master file, there were a total of eight. Can you see it?
Correct.
There were a total of eight. So do we use these ones at the top of the folder, or do we go
No, you use the direct Revit projects,
direct?
the ones at the bottom. The ones at the top are just they are Rhino files and backup files from the central file. You can always explore them because they are pretty interesting if you're getting into the project. I don't think you guys are really going to explore them right now because you guys probably have a ton of things to do. But work with the ones at the bottom, like with the directly Revit files.
Okay. As far as the settings go, do we keep them the same from the example project, as in the time and the well,
Well, you guys are you guys that this is something that Thomas taught last class or asked about that last class. You basically are going to use the four main time zones of the year. So I believe one of them is September. You have winter, solstice, and then you have one more in March, if I'm not wrong. You guys are going to use those four to run the analysis. So the four main ones and the ones that directly connect to the charts that you're going to use. So you can get the accurate information. You can actually go over uh, the iterations and the changes that you need to do.
okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
I have more than one question.
Go
Um,
ahead.
since I've never used Revit in my life, so that's the first time. I wanted to ask, like, how is solar motion or solar impact analyzed? I mean, I don't know how to do it at all.
The solar analysis, you mean?
Yeah,
Okay.
and I want to ask also, is a surface study necessary?
The surface that necessary?
The surface study,
Oh, the surface study.
facade study.
Yes. Basically, there is something called in construction, and you guys are going to learn about this. It's called I post it here. It's called a thermal bridge. You guys are going to need that. And I rather get familiar with that during the semester before you guys jump into comp. The thermal bridge is basically the transmission of anything of heat or cold that the transmission capabilities that your facade has. So depending on the climate or depending on the zone, you guys want to transmit heat, or you guys probably want to transmit heat. Just like think about um the FIU studio, the glazing facade that we have, it constantly transmits heat and humidity. That's why you see the condensation on the um, on the glazing. So you probably want to avoid that because that's just going to make the systems work harder, especially the HVAC system. So yes, just to answer your question in a less complex way, it is really important that you do all of this analysis because you don't want to have a direct solar heat or direct solar impact on your facades, especially if you're in a humid, warm environment such as Miami.
Okay.
Just be aware of the thermal bridge. Okay. Close. All right. So once you, let me just share my screen completely. Okay, so this is the first thing that you're going to see when you open up the file. It's going to prompt you with other things. Just close those messages. It's going to have to do with annotations and stuff. Since you guys are detaching from the main file, it's going to prompt you with messages such as the annotations from MEP is not there, or the annotations from electrical, from mechanical, which is the MEP, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing are not there. This is fine. Just close the window and it will open up the file. So this is the first thing that you're going to see. My first suggestion when you're here, if you're new to Revit, is to use the crop view or the section box in this case, since this is a 3D model. This is going to reduce the area. If you just click it, it's just going to reduce the area where you work. You don't really need the full landscape that you have. You just need this area. Boom. And you're working in a smaller area, your computer is going to be less overwhelmed with the model. So that's the first thing that you want to do. Now, the other thing that you want to do is set up the actual location of your project. If you're working in Revit 2025, this icon is going to be smaller than before. It's going to be under the energy optimization, and you're going to have the location symbol. You click it, and you do, instead of doing the default city list, which is what's going to take you to Miami Beach, it's going to give you the other two locations in downtown. You're going to do the internet mapping service, and you're going to go back to Google Maps. You're going to right click in Google Maps, and that's going to display the coordinates. In this case, Miami. Yes.
Got it.
Okay, so you're going to right click it, going to go back to Revit. You're going to hover here, select this, and just place them. And this is going to search for your location. And you're going to click, oh, okay, wait, hold on. That was not the location that I wanted. Okay, there we go. Florida, okay. Okay, so now we are in the right location. So if you were to activate the solar analysis down here at the bottom, here at the bottom left, if you guys didn't know, you have shortcuts for any of the analysis tab. So any solar analysis, anything that is to hide elements or to do anything related to the analyze your model kind of thing, or how your graphics display is going to be down here at the bottom, even the scale. So you have different scales for the project in case you want to display it in the worksheets in a different scale. So this is important to know because this is going to speed up the process in Revit and make it less overwhelming. So if you were to click the solar pad, you were to do it, you want to use the specified project location. So the one we just specified, and it should have the sun, which is correctly placed. It should have it at, here in the southern hemisphere of the project, which is where we want it because we have a northern climate, which is Miami's climate. We are above the equator. And this is where you want to have your solar study. So if you have this thumbs up, you did it the right way. And then right now you're ready to analyze and do the other stuff that you guys should have known from environmental one, but we'll go over it if you guys want me to. So far, so good as to how to set up the file.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can we just continue like trying to do it until time is up?
like trying to do the whole assignment.
Well, I mean,
Thomas kind of like forbid me from doing it.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So like, why? Like, I don't get why not just make a compatible instructions that like match the assignment. Like, why not do that?
Okay. So I don't make the instructions. I'm just a bridge between you guys and the professor to make everything better. We have met about this topic because there are so many instructions in the class that do not match with the new projects. This is basically the project that we picked is because I suggested to pick a smaller project rather than a high rise because I bet many of you have many questions as to how Revit works. So this was kind of like a last minute decision. We are working on it so it doesn't happen with the other assignments. So don't worry about it. If anything, you guys always have my contact and you can kind of like ask the questions.
Okay, it's just this is due Tuesday. This has been sort of backtracked for everybody since due to the confusion
Don't
of the
worry.
compatibility.
I'll talk
So
to
like,
Thomas to get an extension for you guys. That's not an issue.
okay, and yeah, I know if we can just really just simplify or at least like get a better understanding of what it is that we have to do because for example there's the green building instruction, or at least in the example there's green building, but you're saying do we have to work with the green building
Yes.
thing or not, and
Yes.
where is it that we can find the instructions on how to work with that, because I've never used it in my life before.
For Green Building Studio, you guys have
Yeah,
it in the PDF. I know it's all over the place, the Green Building Studio instructions.
that's what
For
I'm saying. Everything's also scattered, so like even trying to find the things that we have to do, it's a hassle. So
Okay, okay, okay. Oh, hold up. Okay. So that's not on me. This is a project that is set from before. I do
yeah.
apologize for the inconvenience. I'm trying to make it as easy for you guys as I can because I was
Yeah.
also there and I was also trying to understand the PDF.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
I'm not trying to like I know you're the messenger, but I feel like you're the greatest voice that we have in like making a change if we want to like change this. So like I just would want to also voice my concern.
yeah, yeah, that's completely fine, and I'll make sure Thomas knows, and I'll make sure to get an extension for you guys because you're right. This is going to backtrack everyone, and it's better for you guys if you understand the material and you actually can apply it for the project, and that's actually what we're aiming for. We're not aiming for quantity of projects, we're aiming for quality, and not only quality of the project but also quality of understanding because it's really important and if you do not understand everything here, it's going to make your life harder. Trust me. So I'll make sure that you guys do understand this in a proper manner.
Okay, thank you.
Just give me some time and I'll talk to him. Okay?
Excuse me, I have a question.
Yep.
Um, I don't know if you've answered this, but in the scenario that was given in the example, obviously we were using another project,
Mm-hmm.
and they were explaining how we need to uh create a curtain wall and
Mm-hmm.
change the shading system.
Mm-hmm.
Are we carrying that over to this project, or are we just starting straight off with the analysis? Because I noticed that there's curtain walls and shading systems already applied to this project.
You could remember we spoke about this in class. There is not a right or wrong way to do this assignment really because what you guys are doing in this assignment is just trying out different techniques and trying out different systems that we also talked about, the manufactured systems that you basically find in the website Beam Object. I'm going to post it in a bit, um, and just try out different things and see what results you get. It's basically to match the lead parameters, and you guys are going to see which systems work better for you, whether it's a curtain wall, whether it's louvers, whether it's a shading system. How do you place the shading system? Maybe you guys want to orient the walls. Maybe you guys want to carve into the building. Maybe you guys want to place windows. Maybe you guys want to place glazing. Um, I recommend read the other Decathlon projects, the most recent ones. You can also find them in the construction specifier. Actually the most recent one, the 2023, I believe it's in the construction specifier, the last edition. And if you guys read about it, they use a different type of glazing. So also these parameters are going to affect whatever your analysis is. So to better answer your question, you're not limited to what the assignment says. You're limited to what you believe is what will work best for the project, for your
Okay.
analysis. Because at the end of the day, what you really want is to make the analysis for the existing, understand what you have, and understand what you want to iterate. Understand the iterations that you made, and understand the analysis of the iterations. Then go to the lead website and see if you're meeting the lead parameters to be lead certified.
Okay. And from what I understand is like we can manipulate this project and basically replace the already existing shading devices.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You can replace anything in this project. Say you wanna do I don't know, a flat roof that will overhang on the southern side, because you know the most solar exposure is going to be on the solar side, and then you want the slope to go towards the north side. So the lowest part of the slope will slope down to the north side, so you have the water flow there, and then you have a nice cantilevered flat roof facing the south. I don't know. It's really up to you. And since it's a box, you can think about D1 and D2. You can do whatever you want to this box. Carve it, add to it, get some curtain walls, get some louvers, get some overhangs, cantilever stuff. There are so many things that you can do to it. So it's really up to you,
Thank you.
of course. Um,
I
so
have a
let me give you,
question.
yes,
Sorry. When I do the solar analysis, the colors are only showing on the roof. Is it supposed to be like that?
no.
Do you know how I can fix it?
Did you set up all the surfaces that you want on the analysis when you're working
Um,
with that?
I mean, when I click solar analysis and then pops this
Okay, let's
this
just,
window, it says like user selection, and then I try to select everything, but just it only lets me to select the roof. So I'm not sure.
okay. So here you have the solar study, do custom. Then for here, you do user selection and you click the arrow and like the selected surfaces. You click this to select it. Right now, as you can see, only the roof is selected. But if you were to drag all of this, you are going to select all surfaces.
Okay.
And now it's going to run the analysis on the whole building, including interior.
Okay.
After you
Okay.
do that, you update and you're good to go.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. So it's just a matter of updating the selection, and it's going to prompt you with this user selection, and then you just update and you should be fine. Okay, I
Great.
guess
Thank
also
you.
selected this. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so basically, okay, user selection. When you select everything, you just click finish. That's my selection. And then you click update and it should run the analysis. And you should also see this number should have increased, because now the surfaces you have selected is not only limited to the roof, but it's also adding up to all the surfaces that you want to be analyzed.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, and I believe, if I'm not wrong, it works the same way for lighting analysis. So run new analysis, yeah, and you just run it, and you should be fine after that. So
I'm
as far
supposed
as
to do the lighting for this assignment?
yes, for this assignment, wait, let me check here really quick, because I want to misguide you. Yeah, daylight control and artificial lighting design. Yes, thermal comfort. So this is really what should be your focus for this assignment. So basically, if you were to organize this in different tabs, or different, or if you're going to do a TOC and you're going to have subtitles, this should be your subtitles for your analysis: daylight control, artificial lighting design, and thermal comfort. And adding on to that, of course, then you should do the iterations and then run the same analysis again. So that's basically the structure. So daylight control, artificial lighting design, thermal comfort of the existing, show the existing, then do the iterations, bridge that part, and then do the subtitles all over again. Daylight control, artificial lighting design, and thermal comfort. And you guys should be fine with that.
So Juan, I have a question. In the PDF, the one that has the curtain wall and the high rise, it says that we need 6 optimizations if you're in a group of 3. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yes.
Okay, so 6 optimizations for the thermal comfort and 6 optimizations for the daylight and artificial light analysis.
Correct.
Okay, great.
And
And
this
then
is
on the Revit,
yeah.
yes.
No, go ahead.
I just want to know if we had already set up the true north. Like when you turn on the solar path, is that at the north? It seems correct, but I just want to make sure that
Yeah, once you
we don't
set
have
up the
to.
once you set up the location, you should be fine. Because you're going to be before the analysis, you're going to be prompted if you want to do if you want to use the specified location, or if you want to do I think a geographical location or something like that. But you want to use the specified, and if you did the coordinates correctly, then you should be fine for this part.
Okay, great. Because when you're trying to change the true north, it doesn't allow you to do so if you were to change the true.
Change the location and you should be fine. Pick the location in at FIU, post that you are doing the coordinates of FIU, kind of like place the Google Maps screenshot with the coordinates, show that you pasted them, and you should be fine. I'll give you the point for that. Okay, so this right here, these are all just resources for you guys. There is the IES files into Revit, the files by manufacturers. You have Bin Smith. You also have BIM object. This is a really good one for Revit or for Rhino. If you were to use it, you have different software options, and these are all manufacturer files. Anything that you find here, you just have to log in to download them. And then you just go over them. You also have plumbing features. You have lighting features. You have a lot of things that you can use here. They're all manufacturer files. So you already have usually you should have the specs from the manufacturer. So you want. Oh, a software for some reason. Then you want to make sure that it has the RVF file, Revit. And then all of these are Revit files. So you want to do this. You're going to be prompted when you want to download. You're going to be prompted with everything that you can download. In this case, you have a bunch of SketchUp files. I bet those are options that you have for the sofa. And then you guys are going to have this file. This is the important one, the RFA file. Those are Revit families. And when you go to Revit, you can import this and you basically place them as a component. So and then you have the PDFs. The PDFs are the ones that hold anything that you want to show in the construction documents that are related to the specs of what you're going to use. In this case, when you're doing the schedules for door schedules, window schedules, any schedule, you want to do specifications for them. You want to do width, height, depth, type of glazing for windows, whether it's an outer window or an inner window. If it's an outer, is it an impact window? Is it a bay window? Is it a fixed window? Is it I don't know. Is the glazing going to be frosted? Is it going to be double layered, triple layered? Um, you guys just want to have all the specs of the things. So say you want this, let's deselect all of them and then just do an RFA just to show you guys how this works really quick. because this is also how you add louvers and stuff. So if you were to look here for louvers, you guys also have louvers, which are going to import as well types. And you guys are going to have a bunch of things that is just going to save you time modeling. Because basically the louvers, any component, you just select it, you place it wherever you want to place it, and you already have the specs. And then the solar analysis, lighting analysis is going to read it as it is. It's not going to read it as something different or a wall or something, which is an issue that my generation ran into, that we basically modeled the louvers as walls, as curtain walls and stuff. And the software was reading it as a curtain wall. It wasn't reading it as a louver that has an R value of X and U value of X, and then a thermal bridge of B and blah 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 blah, and all the other values that these things already contain, because this is manufacturer files. Okay, so you have that. You probably have already downloaded it. Then you go back to Revit, and here in Revit, if you wanna import one of those files, you guys come here to insert. So at the top, you have the ribbons, you have architecture, structure, steel, precast system, and insert. In insert is where you're going to insert images, insert CAD files. CAD files are really good in Revit to do topography. You guys are going to have the images in case you guys are tracing anything, and then you guys are going to have the load families. So you basically have two types of families in Revit. You have the Autodesk family, the cloud family that already comes with the software. This you should have gone through in the tutorial, but I'm going to go through it regardless. You guys have all the equipments, all that has to do with standard MEPs. So you guys are going to have light features, you're going to have plumbing, you guys are going to have HVAC, and this is going to save you a ton of time, because I believe you guys even have cooling towers, if I'm not mistaken. And those, yeah, you guys have cooling towers, which is how FIU runs the HVAC system. They basically have two facilities that have humongous cooling towers that run humongous piping with a lot of water that is basically cooling the air in each one of the buildings. And this infra work is all running below the campus, like below the routes and stuff. And then it connects to each one of the buildings. It's actually pretty interesting, and that's a filter that we're probably going to do. So you basically just click the ones that you want and you load them, and now they're going to be loaded into your project. So this is from the Autodesk service. Once you have them, you're going to either place a component. I'm going to give you a hotkey right now, but you can also come here. Wait, structure, please insert. This is in the way. Let me just move this here. You can do the hotkey is CM for component. Sorry, I often forget the actual keys or the actual location of the tools because I use the hotkeys. But basically CM, CM for component, and then you're going to have all the components here. To narrow down the list, if you know that's a cooling tower, then you just type cooling tower. And you guys should have it by MBH, which is the capacity of the cooling tower. In this case, if you were to use a cooling tower as the HVAC system, you guys will want to also measure the capacity of the cooling tower. Escape to get out of there, and you should be fine. So let me just type it here again for you guys to understand this part. So CM. CM for placing components. And I will try to find the layout that I have, because I have a keyboard layout that shows you every single command in Revit. And I think that's one of the things that is most important. Even more important than knowing where the tools are in Revit is knowing the hotkeys. That's going to save you guys a lot of time. So placing CM. And then if you have downloaded a family and you have it in under the downloads folder, you guys are going to come here, downloads, and you guys should have it checked as RFA In case for some reason you have another different option here, which you shouldn't because you are importing a family, but if you do, then just make sure it's an RFA. Then you want to click here and it's going to import as a sofa. You just open it and then you just wait for it to update. And it's basically the same process. Just CM and you're going to have the sofa there. Then if it's a specific one for a specific MEP, then your guys are going to want to have to that specific tab, say it's structure or anything. And if you have imported that RFA family for beams, then the beam is going to be here. And then it's going to have all the specs for the beam. And that's really useful for comp. Steel, precast, and the same for every single system that you may use in Revit. Then all the other ones are just for edit annotations and stuff. You're mostly going to be focused in architecture. Okay. As far as editing any file, so let's do a control new. Okay, when you're opening a template, you can do imperial multidiscipline. This is for MEPs because you're going to have it organized as architecture, mechanical, electrical, plumbing. You guys may have a tab that is for the site. You guys are going to have already the 3D view already set, and all the things that they taught you how to set, you're going to have them set up if you use one of the templates. So you go browse. Let's do an architectural one. You have a question? Can you speak a little louder?
Bueno, no, I was early. Y veía la mucho cuarto.
Oh.
Pero eso no me olvidé que no.
Yes. Okay, let me give you the link right now before I forget. Basically, for that question, you go to Autodesk. You open up Autodesk, boot it up. Make sure you're signed in. And then you're going to go to products. You're going to go to download your software. Then you're going to search up for Revit. If you want to narrow it down, if not, it's all the way at the bottom. It's listed in alphabetical order. So just click on Revit. Don't click that install. Just click on Revit and go to extensions. And this is going to give you the most updated extension according to the version that you're using. So make sure you are under the right version. Say, I know many of you have the 2023 since the tutorial was shorter. But if you guys have the 2025, this is the way you update it. So basically, you just come here, and here's the light analysis, and the solar analysis should be a little bit below it. Here, you have the solar analysis. So you have lighting and solar, and you also have the insight for Revit, which you're going to use further down in your path using this software. So let me just post it.
Question. For the instructions for the insight, it mentioned two different types. I believe it was like solar or something like that, or there was two options. Does that one cover both of them? Because I saw like for 2023 there was two options, but I'm assuming maybe for 2025 the insight that you're looking at like covers both of the options that were required in 2023. Is that the
Right.
case or no?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
That is correct. Okay. So now, since it's almost 10, guys, and I have to go by 10:30, let's just go over some of the editing capabilities that Revit has really quick as to how to operate with walls, how to engrave in topography. If you're going to do anything with the topography, I'd say walls, topography are important. Curtain walls, I think you should know, but I'll go over them just in case. I know that many of you have questions because it's the first time I use Revit, so let me just do a residential default. It's easier. So in Revit, just for the ones that do not know and are more used to already designing in 3D, if you want to do so, you can. You just go to the default 3D view and you're going to have this set up. This is already your orthogonal view, and you're going to be able to just, if you hold Shift and the right click, you're going to be able to navigate the 3D view just like any other software. So first thing that you need, it's a ground to start from. So you go to massing inside, you do the topo solid, you click the arrow rather than just the topo solid, because if not, then it's going to prompt you as to pick the contour lines that you guys want to use for the topo solid, and that's not what you want to do if you do not have the contour lines. You want to go for the sketch. You want to set up the level on the, well, for me on the right, for many of you on the left, where you have the properties. For me, it works better if I can read it on two separate sides. That way I know they are dissociated. So I have on the left the project browser to look for any stuff, and then the properties on the right. So I know where to look when I need something. So wait, hold on, let me move this. Click the square. You select your topo solid. You do okay. Okay. So, and you have it at the footing. We want to have it at the foundation level. Okay, so this is a topo solid. I bet it's concrete. So if you were to want to do it as grass, the way to do it is just duplicate it. Say this is going to be topo solid, uh, grass, and soil for this, and you're going to edit the structure. Here is where you get to do different things with the soil. So you get to do the structure, which is no longer going to be the structure. It's going to be the substrate, and the layers. In the material browser, this is going to be soil. So earth. Click OK, and now it's earth. Now say the thickness is going to be, I don't know, 3 feet of this, and then you want to add another layer that is going to be the grass. So this is going to be membrane layer, and you're going to go for grass, maybe create new material. Well, this is how you create a new material. Then you rename it, just create a grass. And you don't need to import any materials. This is something good about Revit, and it already has a library of materials. So if you come here and you actually look.
Juan, I think you're muted.
Am I? Wait, hold on.
Now it's good.
Okay, okay. Computer error. I don't know. But well, what I was saying is that I don't know if you caught everything that I said, but basically creating a new topo solid style for your Revit model, and then just adding points or add a split line if you wanted to. The split line is going to be really useful because basically what it's going to do is just dissociate one side from the other. So it's going to keep this at a specific level, and regardless if you edit this and you put it all the way up there, it's not going to affect anything after that line. So that's really useful. Now you have that. And if you were to do then say the foundation of your building, or the flat foundation of your building, you want to go for the regular topo solid, you're going to want to do the foundation. Maybe let's raise it a foot. Let's come here. Let's do that foundation. Then it's going to tell you that it's overlapping. Now, if you have this problem, then it's probably because you do have to excavate like you would in a regular site. So hold on, let me move it there. You just hover over this one, and you're going to have the option to excavate here. So on the topo solid shaping, right next to the shape editing, you have this topo solid shaping. You can simplify, subdivide, and excavate. So subdivide basically gives you a smoother surface. If you pardon, subdivide, what it does is that it takes a chunk of the topo solid and it isolates it. So if you were to have like a parcel or something that you edit in, then this is really useful because this is, you basically do the perimeter of your parcel, and this tool isolates that parcel. So subdivide, say you wanna subdivide, I don't know, this area. Click OK, and it's going to subdivide this area as a separate object. So if I were to move it and work on it pardon, if I were to work on it in a different way, then it's going to subdivide it and then create that. But to teach you guys how to excavate really quick, excavate here, select this, and it excavates the project. So now you can actually work on it. You can actually put some walls into it, and say you want to do the foundation walls, the retention walls, architecture, you go to the part and structure wall. You want to do the concrete 12, and you have the selection line, basically foundation up to the, say, second level. You want to come here, and it's just as easy as that. You just edit, boom. So now you have that engraved there, and it's perfectly engraved there. So if you were to do graphics, section cuts, or anything, it's going to have all the parameters that you need. Section cut, and look at it. So it's going to be fine. Let's do, rather than textures, let's do hidden line. Boom. Now, if you wanted to do this, okay, you can always just raise it a little. Just do the base offset, so a foot. Oh, same for this. You can do foot. Okay. Now, cloning materials of a wall. So say this wall, it's I don't know, for some reason you did it as 8. You can save some time if you do this command. I'm going to post it right now. So MA equals match properties. You should be familiar with this. And this is going to work for annotations, wall types, anything really that you want to match, that it's the same kind of like element in the software. You can match all the properties that this element has. So say you wanted to match the properties from the masonry wall that you already have. So MA, you select your reference and then you click here, boom, you have that already selected. So it's really cool because you get to work faster. You have that. Let's go over editing a wall. Say for some reason your wall needs to have an opening, an angle opening, and it's not really going to be glazing, but it's just an opening because you want it to look nice. You just double click the wall and it's going to open up the boundary of the wall. You're going to go to the view that most favors this, and then you're just going to click whatever you want the opening. Say you want the opening here, you want it to do something like this. So you guys are going to click, this is another one that you guys may use. So TR equals trim. And trim has a funny way to work here, because trim doesn't work how it usually works in other softwares where you have to select the lines that you want to trim. Trim here works without selecting. So basically trim is going to prompt you where you want the lines to meet. So basically you have two lines and then you select this line and this line internally, like where you want it to go, and it's going to do that. If you were to do it the other way around, it will do it the other way around. So just keep that in mind. Here, here, and then just click OK, and then you have the opening in the wall. So you're going to have a nice smooth opening for the graphics, and this is going to work for editing the house, because when you pardon the office, the SolarDecathlon office, because if you want to do any openings, any extra louvers or any ventilation spaces, I don't know, for some reason you wouldn't in Miami, but for some reason you decided to do that, then this is the way to do it, because you create an opening in the wall, and then that's how you filtrate or create a thermal breach, a direct thermal breach in the property. Okay, so as far as editing, then if you, instead of just selecting an object like this, you double click it, you're going to have the boundary again. If you do any lines in it, like this, if you do any openings in it, it's going to create an open and like an actual opening, and it's going to let the topography go back in because it's an excavate parameter. So you just wanna like in this case not do it, but if you were to do it, that's the way to do it. Say you want to do a pool or something, then you wanna do the opening in the concrete, do the boundary of the perimeter of the pool, and then create the walls of the pool, create the floor of the pool, and do all the piping and the rest. But you're not going to get there, so just an extra for that. Here's the component parameter that I talked about earlier. You can model a component, and that's if you were to reference it to any other software, you're basically creating a group, a component in some softwares that are going to be able to be cloned during through several of the files, and that basically becomes a family that you create. So you can model a component or place a component. The other way, more complex, yet more efficient way to do it is to create a new family, and it's basically going to prompt you as to which type of family you want to create. So you can always create lighting fixtures, you can create railing supports, you can create everything that has to do with construction and with your field here. You can even create furniture and stuff. And that's basically going to set the parameters for everything that you're going to use. So say you don't have the construction documents, but you do know what the parameters of this is, and you're designing furniture, you're designing, I don't know what column, for some reason, a curtain wall, you're doing anything here, you can actually create your own and then make it work in the project. And it's going to read it as such. So when you do the schedules, then it's going to place it in the schedules. The same works for title blocks annotations. So if you were to do, so you don't have to go to CAD, if you were to do a new sheet, then you can do it here. And you can actually create your new sheet. Say you want to do a 36 by 24, you want to create your own title block. You just open it and then you just create a new one. And then you have it here. So maybe, I don't know, this is going to make it easier for you guys because you guys can have all the sheets all together and just export them at the same time. You can have the line, say you want it, when you click line, square, anything here to draw, you have the option to offset. So since I'm doing the line and I want a margin of a fourth, so you just go here, fourth, you click here, 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 here. In case this is overlapping, as I thought you, just trim it and you should be fine. Ready? Okay, so I will take this 20 remaining minutes to receive any questions so far. Guys,
Juan,
yes.
hi. If I show you the assignment that we did in the last semester for assignment one, can you tell me if it's the same thing and if we can like guide ourselves with these instructions instead?
Sure. Although, again, to narrow it down, use those three that I gave you. The which is all the way. It's below this. SolarDecathlon. Okay, so these keywords. This is what you want to do. So you first do the daylight control, artificial lighting, thermal comfort, iterations, and then run the analysis again. That's all you need to do. The other slides that he posted are just to like help you guys with the green building studio step and with the other steps. I know it's confusing, but those are not the directions for this assignment. The ones that he posted. He merged all the resources that he gives you guys alongside with the assignment, and I know it can get confusing, but what Professor Thomas does is that he gives you a description of the assignment, and then he gives you an example of how he wants the deliverables to be formatted. And then within that, he has the instructions for that, which is procedures that other students follow. But yeah, sure, just show it to me, and I will see if you can use it.
Okay. Second. For example, this is the assignment one, the solar analysis,
You're not sharing yet.
and then you do all this.
Hold on, but you're not sharing.
I'm not.
No.
Give me a second. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, it's a solar analysis, and this is the assignment one. And then, so it's kind of similar, but I just want to make sure that if I can guide myself through this, because this was pretty, you know, simple for us or for me myself, I guess. And then you have the location establishing true north and the base analysis and selecting the colors and then this and then there you go. And then what do you think?
Okay, so sort of. Only this
Sort
time
of.
around, you're going to be running iterations over an existing building. So the only difference really is that you're going to get the existing, run all of this analysis, and then you're going to iterate the existing, change it, and then run the amount of analysis according to the amount of people in your group, whether you're working with one person, two people, or three people.
Okay. So it's not the same thing. Like if I show you this, if I give you something like this, you will not accept it?
It requires extra steps. Like it's
Okay.
not covering everything.
Okay. All right.
Okay, and that's what I mean. Like go back, those overhangs. I believe when Amalia Farah and Adris did it, they didn't do it as an overhang. They did it as a louver, or pardon, not as a louver, as a floor type, and they just inclined, or as a roof type, and they just inclined it This is what I mean by different parameters. So if you were to do an overhang, it will work a different way. So
Oh,
just try to keep that in mind because that is going to affect the numbers that you get. Whether you're doing louvers, whether you're doing whatever you're doing, it's going to affect it. And I will just go to BIM object and then download the families that you need. Um, just as a tip, if you do several iterations, then go over different systems in BIM object and try to use them and just run the analysis. But do keep in mind that you have to set up the file correctly.
okay.
Okay, Daniela, what do you mean by categorize a building as a single family home in Revit? Oh, okay. I know what you mean. No, you categorize it as an office space. Yes, the second one. So when you do the category, this is going to be an office. I believe it's in the instructions. So here, uh, I believe that when he changed it here, uh, oh, he didn't save it. I had changed it with him. So basically, you're going to do it as an office space. Don't pay attention to this because this is confusing because of the twisted tower. But it's going to be an office space. So I will talk to him because we do need to update this, and I will ask for the extension. Do we have any more questions about the assignment or about Revit overall? I will take that as a no. Um, I will post my email here. It's not the same one as before. And then if you have any questions, just email me. And if not, if I did not answer a question and you just wanna like if you just want personal help, like help with the software and the assignment, you can reach out to me on Mondays and Wednesdays. I'm usually at school those days, and I will be around the third floor in the big studio area. I do not know. That's something that I have to figure out with him. I usually have a meeting with him every single Friday to review all of these things, and I will let you know. I will let you guys know about the extension. Um, I do promise you guys that I will try my hardest to get it. You should get it because Thomas is usually a professor that likes quality over quantity. So I feel like he's going to give you the extension as long as you give him good work and you understand the assignment. And I feel like you guys have a valid reason for it because the instructions were incorrect at the beginning and they weren't corrected until today through some. So I'll make sure you guys get what you deserve as a student. Okay. Do we have any more questions? Yes, no. Remember, guys, I'm not a professor. I'm a student as you guys. You can casually just talk to me. And then I will be available.
I kind of feel that you should like take us to a place that we feel comfortable to continue, I guess, with the iterations and everything else, because everyone is like confused. Like honestly, I think we're gonna hang up on here and then we're gonna try it and then we're gonna have questions again, like the second we hang up here, because
Okay,
it's just so confusing. It's so confusing, like honestly.
that's the thing. So just run the analysis. The idea is to run the analysis, and if you have any questions when you're doing because the iterations, what we mean by that is just edit the existing model. So create openings, create louvers, do extensions
Okay.
for your roof,
Create
uh,
openings, create louvers. Okay.
do extensions of the roof. So you have overhangs of the roof. Um, iterate the windows, change the type of glazing. So basically, just go over the window families, change the window type, maybe edit the curtain type that you have, see if editing the amount of mullions that you have will affect the project. Basically, what you're doing now is exploring uh the decisions that you make in the project and how they affect the project environmentally. So how it will affect the solar and the lighting analysis. And that's why you have different amount of iterations. So if you're working in a team of 3 people, I believe it's 6 iterations. So if you give 2 iterations per person, you're going to finish this really fast. It's just a matter of getting the project. Say one person does louvers and walls, and those are 2 iterations. So for one of the iterations, I surrounded the project with curtain louvers. So just walls that act as louvers, and you do several openings, perforated metal, I don't know. And then the other one just does windows. Then another person is going to focus on the glazing and the type of glazing, mullion amount, and then rooftop overhang. And then the other person is going to do, I don't know, topography changes. And it's going to basically create a system that will block the sun in a certain way with different like walls, I don't know, in front of it. And then probably it's going, I don't know, to do an opening in the rooftop and create a skylight, which you also have a family for skylights, and it works the same way as the other families. The reason why I didn't show all the families is because they all work the same way. So if you want to do a family for Windows, you basically import the family from Autodesk and you do it. If you want to do a family for walls, it works the same way. Everything is the same process in Revit. You just have to reiterate and just do it. But as far as iterations, do not get confused. Iterations with redoing the whole project. You're just changing aspects of the project so it works in a different way. So it feeds back different data and different information, which after you understand, then you will probably, when you get to the conclusion, you're going to get to say, okay, we tried this, and this, and we believe that a mix of, I don't know, changing the glazing, creating a skylight, and doing overhangs is going to be the best option to optimize this project.
Okay, so in conclusion, basically what you want to see is the differences in solar, lighting, and thermal in these iterations. In the if even if it's creating an opening, louvers, extension of a roof, changing window type, you want to see the difference on
Correct.
all of this.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Does that clarify your questions?
Yes.
Okay. Any other question about the assignment before trying? Yes, I will send the recording. Once I have it, I will send you guys the recording. Make sure you have it. Again, I have posted my email. I am open to help you guys. Monday and Wednesday, just reach out to me. I'm pretty sure that if you reach out to me, we'll find a quicker solution rather than just email, giving instructions and all of that. If you reach out to me, it's usually easier. Again, as much as you guys, I'm a student and I understand what's it like to be there. It looks hard. It's not. Wait until you get to comp and you get to not sleep for a whole week. It's different. If there are no more questions, then I think that we can end the meeting right now and the workshop right now. When you do have the questions, which you will, please do not hesitate to ask. Ask me, ask Thomas, ask YouTube, ask ChatGPT. You guys have a large amount of tools that I did not have back then or that I did not have access to, which is going to make this process simpler. Okay, I feel like this is a good point to end up the workshop, and I think that we have covered a fair amount of things. I think that the most importance were covered, the assignment and how to do it, and then how to open up the Revit file. If you're new to Revit, contact me and probably we can do a smaller workshop tomorrow. And if you have specific questions and you want to do a workshop with me where I teach you more stuff about Revit, just contact me and we'll see if we have enough people. We'll create the meeting and we'll do so. I have no problem with that. And I know it will help you guys a lot. Feel like we can end it here.